Hi friends, happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday, which means I do a longer video for you all. You guys really liked the longer video last week. So I'm happy to do that today. We're going to do another look with the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I think we're going to do a very cool tone look. Yesterday I used a couple of the warm tone shades, which brings me to what I want to tell you guys. I did get some comments on YouTube regarding that this is a warm palette and is unexciting. If you do not want to spend your money on this palette, for sure, that is your prerogative. But as a reviewer, as someone who shares makeup, I am going to tell you this is not a nude, it is a nude palette. It is not a warm tone palette. So this shade and this shade are warmer. Are they the warmest shades I've ever seen? But if you get rid of those, this is a cool toned palette. I am not as smart as Natasha. I do not know why she put those in there, but as someone who consumes a lot of makeup, I buy a lot of makeup, I actually appreciate the fact that there is a couple of warm tones in here, because sometimes I like to mix it up, and now I don't have to go to another palette to grab those shades. So as far as like her design, we don't know why she put them in there. I'm sure she'll probably address it, because it's all I'm hearing right now is that this is a warm tone palette. Is not. And we're going to do a cooler toned look. All right, nice and zoomed in. I did have some questions about the brushes I use. I have a ton of eyeshadow brushes from all types of budgets, but you guys probably see me use these all the time. These are the Morphe Ariel brushes. You can get them at Morphe.com or Ulta. And I really like them, and I actually don't typically like Morphe brushes. So this is a Morphe brush also, and it sheds awfully. It's one of my least favorite brushes, but these are really nice. They did a good job with them. So generally I will use these. You see me use a couple different brushes, but I do reach for these the most as far as like the easy blending stuff. They're just really great quality. Okay, let's get into it. I am just going to press out my eye primer. I am using a pot eye primer from a brand called Kayuko Cosmetics. It's a small brand. I'm just gonna set that down. So for those of you that do not want to invest in this palette but do want some of the tones, I do think that the new Starlet, it's a mini, I also have videos on it, I will link them, is very similar in some of the colors here. So if you want to spend $27 versus $69, I think that's definitely a good option for you. I'm going to go ahead and grab this shade. It's called Mesh, and we're going to take that right through our crease on a fluffy blending brush. This is very, very, very light. I'm going to build it up a little bit. I do my eyeshadow before I do any of my other makeup, and there's a reason for that. I am not a super fancy makeup artist, so I tend to make a mess of my eyeshadow. It will come too low, and I can always clean it up with my concealer. So while I don't have that beautiful skin that I do after my base is done, that's okay. So I'm just taking my time to build this up. I'm going to grab this shade here. It's called Tender, and I'm going to take that on a little bit of a flatter, more densely packed brush, because it is a little bit of a darker shade. And I'm going to take that right lower in the crease and kind of use the shape of the brush to create some dimension here on the outer third of my eye. Definitely cool tone. Okay, I'm going to take a smaller blending brush. This is from AOA Studio. It's like the makeup dollar store. These are the nicest brushes. They come in like a whole set. And I'm going to grab Silhouette, which is our dark brown here. This is the darkest shade in the palette. If I have one complaint about the palette, is that it is not super diverse in the amount of darker shades, but that's okay because you really just need the one. And I'm going to take that really low, not going up into my crease, just taking it right here. And we're just going to tap that in to keep the color where it is, but to blend it as well. Okay, now to blend all of that out, I'm going to grab that shade Fair, which is what we set our crease down with, and I'm just going to very, like barely touching the skin, come over these edges. And that's the trick to using dark shades, is just taking your time to blend them and make sure you are just using super light pressure and a good fluffy brush. Okay, for our shimmer, we have several options. So this one looks a little bit less shimmery. I would call it more like a sequin shade. This one has a little bit more of a pop, so it's called Filigree, and we're gonna try that. It's kind of like this grungy gold shade. Isn't that pretty? It's perfect for nighttime. This would be more nighttime for me. I'm gonna look a little crazy today. Not dipping back into the product, but taking that dark shade again and just kind of tapping over where the glitter meets that darker outer corner, and we're just kind of just moving the product around. Not, again, no added extra, but it's gonna help blend those two ends together. Going back in with our fluffy brush and blending until your arm hurts. Truly, it's all blending, and then we'll see how it comes together. So trust the process for sure. Let's go ahead and start on the complexion. A lot of you have been asking about my foundation in my last few videos. It is, I can't put this down. I've been using the crap out of it lately, and I can't get the cap on. It's Lawless's Conceal the Deal in the shade Champagne. It is the most gorgeous, thin but full coverage formula, and it's what I've been wearing in pretty much every single video for the past week, maybe 2 weeks. It's just really working with my skin right now. It's so gorgeous. I can't take the crusty lips. I'm going to go in with my Peter Thomas Roth lip filler treatment. If you don't like painful lip filler, if you don't like painful plumpers, this one is so good. It doesn't hurt, but it does do a good job. Concealer is going to be Winky Lux in the shade Fair. This is their Keeper Perfect. It's my favorite concealer. I have a video up yesterday, so if you missed it, go watch it. It's literally crease proof on me. It's so good. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. Because I want a tiny bit of brightness, I'm going to grab my Exa Beauty Pink Corrector. I'm going to put a tiny bit on the back of my hand, like a tiny bit. And we're going to work it off the back of my hand and just add it to the concealer to brighten up the under eye. Just because we're kind of full beat Barbie today, we want to make sure this is a nice bright under eye. Bronzer is going to be Make Beauty in the shade Lunar. It's one of my favorite powdered bronzers. It's not too dark. It's very buildable, which I like because I don't like to look scary. I like to kind of control what I'm doing. But see the tone? It's so pretty. The lips are looking hydrated and juicy. We love that plumper. Okay, for blush, we're going to do something crazy. We're going to grab this shade here. It's called Wit. We're going to pull it right out of the Natasha Denona palette. I'm going to put on Holy Moly. We're going to put it here, and I'm going to use it as a blush because we've made an investment. We have an expensive palette. That is a pretty blush shade. I mean, really, that is the most beautiful blush. Look, it's so pretty. Okay, so I'm really just gonna bring what I did on the top on the bottom. So we're gonna grab the shade Mesh on a tiny brush here, and we're gonna start to build our outer edge. Now, under eyeshadow, I never bring past the center of my eye. So I'm gonna just work on blending out this so it connects with the upper lid. Okay, we're going to go into that shade Silhouette, which is our darkest shade, and we're going to take that right on the outer corner, staying tight to the lashes so we're not emphasizing our texture, and into the waterline. Because I want dramatic fanned out lashes, you know we're doing the Fan Fest. Okay, cool tone lip. I'm going to use my brow pencil as a liner. Okay, I don't really have anything cool tone in my collection, truly, so we're just going to go in with this random lipstick. I don't even know the brand. It's as cool as it's gonna get. It's definitely pink. And then I'm gonna top that with Soul Search from Milk. This is a pretty cool tone pink. And here we are. I really like this. I think it's beautiful. This is a very versatile palette, so I really think this is a beautiful look. Let me know what you think in the comments. Any questions about the products I use, drop them down there. And as always, let me know what you think of the longer videos because we're still testing that out.